Hey, it's Joe. I got another one here. This is from Jim Delaney in Memphis, Tennessee. Joe, how do you find a seller who's willing to sell with zero down? That's kind of a basic, right up front question that I think a lot of you have come to my site to find out. There's a thing called seller financing, to get right back to brass tacks or right down to basics. And that is where the seller holds the mortgage in the property. Now, the seller may already have an existing mortgage on the property, and you can pay them and they can pay the mortgage. Or if they have no equity in the property, you can pay them directly on what's called a land contract. There are different zero down structures that you can use. There's a whole hierarchy that I created to help you understand which one to use in any particular situation. And it takes me a few hours to explain the whole hierarchy, but I'm going to go through it real quickly so that you can maybe Google a few of these terms and get a feel for how this process works and get a feel for why I put them in this hierarchy. The hierarchy starts at the top, and this is with you as the buyer, because it's going to be exactly opposite. The hierarchy is going to be exactly opposite if you're the seller. But if you're the buyer, the best way to buy a property is subject to the existing loan, which means they deed the property to you and you make payments on their property. You have complete control of that property because you have the deed of that property. The second in the hierarchy is multi-mortgage. It's them also deeding the property to you, but this time they have equity in the property, so you put a second mortgage on that property so that you can still give them their equity for the property and sell it on terms. The third method is a land contract. They do not deed it to you, so it puts you in a little weaker position, but it still gives you ownership rights. You can record that land contract, and you can turn around and sell that property with a real estate agent if you choose to do that, or refinance it after a year or so. So that's the third method in the hierarchy. The fourth method is lease with an option to buy. That puts the buyer in the weakest position, but it's still a way to buy with zero down. And typically what we're going to do, if we're selling the property, we're going to sell it on a lease option. We're going to buy it on a subject to. So we want to buy in the strongest position and sell in the weakest position. And the reason we do that is because we have to assume that we are the most honorable and ethical person in the transaction, and we know that we're going to do the right thing. So we put ourselves in control of the transaction to make sure the right thing is done. And that's why you want to understand this hierarchy, so at any point with anyone, you can always make an offer on their property that's going to be profitable to you. And you're always going to buy these with zero down. Don't put money down on these properties. There's no reason to do that. There's too many of them available out there that you can get for zero down if you understand the marketing, if you understand how to get people to come to you to sell their properties. That's one of the things that we do in the Auto Marketer. That's what I teach in my mentor program. It's what I teach in all my training programs. I also do other things called passive investing, but that's a different animal altogether. That's where your money is working for you. This is active investing, is where you're going out there and buying properties with no money down, without using your credit, and buying those properties and sometimes selling them, sometimes holding them, keeping them in your portfolio, keeping them in your IRA. You can actually do that with seller finance deals, because if you do it with subject to, they're non-recourse loans. So there's some really nice ways to do this that can fill out your portfolio in a lot of different ways and actually give you a sustainable, long-term, ethical business that actually serves the people that you're buying and selling, buying from and selling to. And that's kind of the goal for me in my business, in addition to making a lot of money and not working a lot of hours, and doing that with automation and doing that with outsourcing. All right, hope that answers the question. Thanks.